All right, welcome back, YouTube. We're back here at the Carney package bees. It's been a minute since we've inspected. We've been checking on them and feeding them. It's not necessary that we get into the hive per se once a week, but we are checking them daily and making sure that they're coming and going, that there's no chaos happening, things like that. So what's happened since we've last met? If you recall in the last video, it was day 25, and we were seeing the first callow bees, the first new adult bees being born in this colony. And so it's been 19 days since then, so almost 3 weeks. We decided to just kind of leave them alone and let them do their thing. We are pretty familiar with the process, and there was no need for us to really go inside the hive. It's also important to understand the bees' life cycle once they become adult bees, right? The first few days they spend cleaning up the hive, and then they become nurse bees, and then they start producing wax and becoming comb builders and you know, curing honey, and then they become guard bees, and then finally at the end of their life they become foragers. And so we had the first adult bees born in this colony. It's been about 3 weeks. And so at this point in time, we should start to see bees making their first orientation flights. And so what that means is some of these bees, this is the first time they're ever leaving the hive. And so they're going to get their bearings before they actually start going out on forage runs. So what I expect to see here today, I expect that this feeder is empty. We've been keeping them full every few days. But we're timing these visits to where they're empty for ease of moving the boxes. So I need to fill the feeders today. We should also see, we've had almost 3 solid weeks of bees being born at pretty much, you know, minute by minute. And so we should start to notice a big increase in the population of this colony. So let's go ahead, give them a little smoke, pop the lid, give them a little smoke, just to let them know that we're coming. We'll remove the outer little pest bugs here. Go ahead and remove the inner cover, or just at least pop it and look. It does look to be dry, so we will be filling that feeder like I said today. So we'll go ahead and get this out of the way. It's supposed to be 95 degrees today, so holy cow. Would you look at all the bees in this top box? So, as expected, it's a little more than expected. The population of this hive has absolutely exploded. So let's dig down into the bottom chamber here and see what we've got. Oh, this box is full. All right, this box is full too. This population of this colony is just exploded. This is amazing. This is exactly what we wanted to see. This is what we've been waiting for. In order for the bees to be effective at what they're trying to do, they have to have the appropriate workforce of the right age. So what I mean by that is, in order to gather honey, they would have to have enough bees, you know, they only do a little bit each. And so the idea is that many hands makes light work. So we've got bees here. Not really drawing out this frame yet. That doesn't make me super happy, but let's see what else we've got here. It looks like they may have just started using that top box more than this one. So there's not really much going on this frame either. Okay, so we may have to swap some frames around here just to balance things up for them. But we can see that the population is just much, much higher than before. All right, lots of larvae here, pollen, nectar. I'm going to actually move this frame out one to kind of checkerboard hopefully get them to fill this second one here. Man, they are just going gangbusters in this box. This is amazing. All right. In here we have brood, some capped brood there in the center, some stores along the top. Same thing here, pretty standard brood frame, looking really good. It may be almost time to stop feeding these bees. Full brood frame, that looks amazing. Another full frame of pollen stores, eggs, some brood. This is all looking great. I'm really, really pleased with what I'm seeing here. It is kind of how I expected, but it is nice to see that the plan came together. So I do see some callow bees walking around. Nice frame of capped brood here. All right, I'm gonna give them a little more smoke just to clear them from the top frame. You can see that they go in. That just gives me a little room to work here. Brood frame. Looks like they've got some drone brood going, which is great. Another full frame of capped brood. Yeah, this is amazing. Stores. This is larva, early larva. This is really young larva. It's possible we'll see the queen somewhere around here. I do see a couple drones as well, so that's good. It's the sign of a healthy hive if they have drones. During the peak of the season, it wouldn't be unusual to have, 10 or 15% drones in the colony. All right, so this is all looking pretty good. I would like to see a little bit more being drawn out down the bottom here, but if you recall, we were talking about having the appropriate workforce, and so just this last week, the bees have started to be able to draw their own wax in mass quantities. So the bigger this workforce gets, the more they'll be able to draw. All right, let's get this big heavy box back on. Oh my goodness, it's heavy. It's full, feels full. Well, let's see what we've got going on up here. Okay, we'll pull this end frame. Nothing on the outside, definitely drawing it on the inside. Gently set this down, we don't want to crush anybody. All right, come into the next one. Looking good. Possibly gonna turn that into stores. That's a lot of nectar there. Yeah, like I said, it may be time to start thinking about letting them get their own stores, because we've pretty much filled out this brood box. Full frame of brood here, uncapped. Eggs and brood here. This is looking great. I'm actually kind of surprised to see how much the population has increased. It's really, look at that full frame of brood capped. Again on this side, same thing. There's the queen. There she is right there. Hopefully you can see her on the camera. Maybe not. I don't know if I have the camera in the right spot here today. But we've seen the queen. We've really seen what we need to see. This is loaded with eggs. Same thing here. This hive has just exploded. Yep. Looking great. Really, really good. All right. So, as you can tell, these inspections are going to start taking longer and longer because there's more to see, obviously. It's not super important that we come each week at this point because they're doing amazing. The capped brood frame here is just perfect, literally perfect. We'll go on to these last couple frames, and like I said, I'm not even positive I'm going to put more syrup in here because there's just no more room. Another capped brood frame, and same on that side. I believe that it's about time to put a super on here, and at that point I absolutely would stop feeding them. Capped brood, stores, and then this last frame is drawn and stores and drawn on the outside. So this top box is full. It will be time for me to add a honey super on here. They still have a couple frames at the bottom. I will try to coax them to draw those over the next few inspections, but it doesn't really look like they need any more assistance getting comb drawn. They've got enough. You want to be careful because if you start feeding them too much and they do get honey bound, they could swarm or just flat out abscond like we were talking about in one of the previous videos. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and put this feeder back on. It is bone dry. I'm not sure that I will add to it, but we will decide that here shortly. All right. So I don't know if the camera was even in the right spot to get much of that inspection. I'm starting to notice that now as we're doing the video. But either way, the bees are doing great. They're exceeding my expectations at this point. I expected to see more bees. I did not expect to see quite that many. So I'm really impressed. All right, stay tuned, YouTube. We will be back to check on these. In about another 3 weeks or so, the first bees that were born 3 weeks ago will start to perish. And so at that point, we will have a complete workforce of every stage of bee in about 3 weeks from now. So, and the original population of the package should be almost gone or gone over the next couple of weeks. So, all right, YouTube, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.